Honest to God, a production of AM 1160 The Quest. I am super excited to be here, but I'm not John Henry. But he always says he's super excited to be here. So I am super, super, super excited to be here, John Henry. And I am so excited because I'm with several of my favorite people in this room, but this is going to be a great episode. I'm with two of my favorite beautiful women here, Veronica and Allison, and I also have Madeline over here producing, and our new producer in training, Max. Yay. Yeah. And someone who may or may not be over here, but he is. Benny, you are here. Oh, sorry. Shh, don't say that. Okay, we are so excited to be here, and this is going to be a great episode. It's going to be twin talk because obviously, well, maybe not obviously, our guests are twins, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things. But before we get started, in all things, we need to start with prayer. So, Veronica, you said you'll hit it? Okay.
Sure, I'll hit it. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity just to speak with you at all times, but especially in a room full of people that acknowledge you on a daily basis. Thank you for the gift of life, for the gift of creation, that we can walk outside and just see your beauty magnified and also close our eyes and experience your beauty. We pray that this episode is just in alignment with your holy will and that it draws others closer to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Awesome. I feel so prepared now to do this. And I'm filling in, and so I wasn't feeling very prepared, but that prayer is so wonderful. Thank you.
Aww.
Thank you for that. And I'm so excited because I truly just love talking to you. So to get to be able to talk to you for an hour is just exciting. And listeners and viewers, you're going to be so excited. This is going to be a good episode. If you're watching on YouTube, share, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. But first, before we get, I want to introduce you guys. So why don't you introduce your sister, and then you introduce your sister.
This is my little brother. This is my twin sister, Veronica. Fill me with compliments. Come on, she's beautiful, great personality, so funny, so wonderful, charismatic, excellent prayer warrior. Am I supposed to be looking at the camera?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, depends on how serious I want to be. And,
what camera?
A lovely human being. I'm blessed to not only know her, but know her extraordinarily
What's
intimately.
something you know, but a lot of people don't know about her?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to ask you that, too.
Uh-oh, okay. And she really is so funny. Like, I feel like that's a pretty generic thing to say, but I think just, like, full stop, you can make anybody laugh. And, like, it could be a very awkward situation with any age group, culture, anybody, and she's going to just bring the house down.
I love it.
I feel like it's a lot of pressure to just be like, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Make them laugh.
Be funny now.
Make them laugh. This is Allison. I just also have to comment on the beauty. No, but Allison is a special and unique soul that I've had the honor and privilege of growing up with since the making of me. And ultimate woo-mate. Yeah, truly.
Roommate. Oh, I like that.
Allison's very strong. I can always count on her anytime I'm in my emotional bag, like, oh, somebody said this thing, and now I'm just ruminating in it. She's like, you don't have to do that. She's very good at just, like, separating things and, like, putting them in their proper place. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Life is easy. Or at least it's, with the right outlook, it's easier. And something that maybe not everybody knows is that she's a fantastic piano player. She's like Liberace on the keys.
Wow.
She sits down and just...
Wow.
She can also play the guitar.
She
denies it, but...
You guys can dance, you can sing, you can do everything. Way to go.
You taught us everything we know.
Right.
We learned
Janice
the
is
best.
responsible for it.
Janice is our inspiration.
So I'm so excited because I said you guys picked the topic. And what did you say?
Well, we kind of have an umbrella of ideas, but I think the gift of true femininity, what it is to be a woman in today's climate,
Culture.
Yeah, and I think just our mission as young adult Catholics, in today's culture.
Perfect.
And how that's really being attacked, but when has it not really been attacked?
Yeah. Well, I think so how is it uniquely being attacked right now?
Well, I think, look at you, little interviewer. That was a good segue. John Henry.
How is it
You're
being
looking
attacked?
so beautiful today.
More hair.
Really, all you have to do is turn on the little black screen that everybody owns now, the personal TV in your pocket, and you are flooded with music and content and social media and opinions that are kind of leading us in a culture of death, to say the least.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, we all have phones, but it's really coming from all different directions. Like she was saying, if you're not getting it on your phone, you're hearing it through the radio. Does anybody listen to the radio other than this?
Oh,
yeah, I know. Other than AM.
AM 1160,
Everybody
the
listens
Quest.
to Honest to God Quest but
radio.
Musically, like, aren't they all on Spotify? I mean, Spotify, Apple
Right.
Music, wherever you hear your music,
Yeah.
YouTube, any app, honestly. It's even children's shows. Like, if you really look behind what's going there, it's like, wait a minute. This is crazy, the stuff that they're feeding little kids and the propaganda. It starts so early. It starts so young, and it's even attacking our precious boomers, with some of the news networks. We're getting it from all sides. So I think more now than ever, we're in a time where we have to be ever vigilant about what it is that we're consuming on a daily basis and just really clinging to the cross because
Exactly.
we gotta just accept, Calvary here and now. But I also think we shouldn't lose hope. I think a lot of us tend to kind of go, oh, red pill, blue pill, black pill. But I think it is time to take the white pill because we know who wins. We're on the winning team, and we just have to kind of live it out until we get there and expect the attacks to come.
Right,
If you feel attacked, you're doing something right. That's what I
we
mean.
are doing something right here on Honest to God.
Yeah. The light starts flickering. No. Blink 3 times.
Yeah. And then on the other side, though, we have so many. Who are some of the role models? Obviously, the Blessed Mother. But who are the role models, or what does God tell you about who you are as a woman, or you are?
I mean, role models. My first thought is, if we're kind of talking in the space of celebrity, I think Audrey Hepburn, just for the way that she carried herself and her fashion sense, and Grace Kelly. I guess I would be going in a more aesthetic direction, just women who...
Are they both Catholic? Because Grace Kelly was Catholic, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Was Audrey?
I don't know.
I don't know.
For the purpose of the episode, she will be.
Yeah.
But then if we want to take it like a little further in the past, certain saints like Joan of Arc.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
man, I love Joan of Arc.
Yeah,
too.
what a warrior. And then you said Mother Mary, but I mean, talk about the greatest of them all, you know.
The
Yeah.
pinnacle. I think
Yeah.
Teresa of Avila, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
She is the homie.
she's good.
Yeah.
So how do you guys, since you are both in the entertainment field and you're choreographers, you're dancers, you're singers, and you're constantly, like there must be, I think we even talked about this on another episode, that there's a lot of times you have to say no to stuff. But how do you balance that? How do you balance like being, true to your faith and true to who you are and made in the image and likeness of God, but yet still also trying to, make money?
Right. I think we've been lucky in the way that we've always had each other to kind of lean on. So when we have been in certain situations where, they want to compromise our morals or something, we've always kind of had each other to be like, hard stop on that. And doing it with grace, it doesn't have to be corny, like, well, with my faith, I say no, know. But like,
I rebuke you.
Yeah. Sprinkle holy water on them. Yeah. They melt. But yeah, just staying poised and knowing that you carry truth, and not in like a prideful way, but the more that you can replicate the way Mary lived or the way Jesus lived, there's a peace about that. There's a profound peace that you receive when you are trying to walk in alignment with God. And even when you turn down certain opportunities that might seem really cool, or I always wanted to work with that artist, and then you get there and you're like, wait a minute, this ain't as cool as I thought. God will reward you greater than you could have ever imagined, I think. And we've seen that firsthand happen. So truly just to he's brought you this far, he's going to take you further. You just have to trust in him and stay within his will. I think it's the best case scenario. Mm-hmm. I think trust is a big part of it, because there are often times where you're looking forward to an opportunity or you've been fantasizing about this dream and, holding strong to your desires, and then you're so close to it, or you do get it and then it falls through or it gets canceled, and you're just like, but then trusting okay, there's a reason for this. If I look at this with a positive outlook, my character could be shaped right now. If I allow this situation, it can chisel away at the weaker parts of me and then better prepare you for those, like she said, opportunities that you weren't even thinking about. They were outside of your imagination because it was greater than your limited perspective was allowing.
We just had this happen to us 2 days ago.
Okay,
where an
happened?
opportunity came up and we were like, god, this is awesome. And then it was like immediately taken away from us. And I was
That
like,
night.
and we're just like distraught, you know. And I was like, you know what? We need to discipline our disappointments. And we just both were praying. We're like, you know what? Maybe there's something better. Even if there isn't something better, like let's not be whiny babies about it. Like let's be daughters that Jesus would be like, oh, I'm kind of proud of them right now, you know? And then the next day, the opportunity came back and was like, actually, it's back on the table and it's going to be better than it was before. So we were like, look at God.
Wow. Yeah, you can't make it. We were talking on the last episode about that, about just being in God's plan and how you can't even dream big enough to fit in His. And Madeline, you had talked about in the Mary's Garden, the episode where the women were the new. Tell us a little bit about the new series that we're having with Mary's Garden, and that you also talked a little bit about modesty, because we want to talk about that. So what were
Oh, yeah.
and femininity?
Okay, so we actually have, excuse me. By the time this one comes out, I think both of our first two episodes will be out. But the second one was about modesty, and we opened the question was like, would Mary wear a bikini? And we're like, no. The answer is no.
You better preach.
It's all about, actually, hold on. How do you want me to go into that?
Well, I just thought, because we're going to dive into modesty and about femininity. So you had just had 2 whole episodes about this. So if you had some things to share.
Oh, yeah. I think one of the biggest takeaways from it is like how, in my opinion, like how much you respect yourself and how much you want to be respected as well. Like I think that's my biggest takeaway, especially when it comes to modesty. It's like, okay, like a lot of times you are how you present yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think if that answers your question,
and
if there's another thing I can talk
because
about.
I think it's like being dancers. It's got to be so hard because modesty is so, that's just going to be, what do you?
Optional.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. It's funny. Sometimes I don't expect to talk.
talk?
So
Oh,
it comes, and then I'm like, oh.
Well, because I feel like this is just a conversation around the couch, sitting on the couch and talking. Except I don't have.
Girl talk with our fellas.
With
Still here.
Yeah. Max is still in the room. Well, Max, I think modesty, actually, sorry. I think women don't realize how important modesty is for men, and how, like the things that people wear. When I look at someone, I'm thinking, you have no idea how you're being perceived by men when you're wearing that. But I don't know. Is modesty important to you, and do you appreciate it when people are modest, or?
I was not prepared to talk, but I will say modesty is important to me, and I think it is important to the people around you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, always be prepared to talk, because you're a part of the family now. So
we're in.
You're
I'm
in.
here.
Yeah.
You're here. You're in. You got it. And I'm going to toss it here. Conveniently, I'm going to toss it back to them. You like that? So there you go. So keep talking. Tell us about some of the other things, because
Well, just on that, it reminds me, growing up, our mom would always say, it's not just Brad Pitt out there seeing you walk out the house. It's the old guys in their basements that are not cute and overweight. Like, to keep that in mind, it's not just like you have this adoring audience,
Right.
But more importantly, I think the culture has really been pushing a do you kind of attitude and motto without regarding if there's children present, if there are, if there's elderly present.
What do you mean?
Do you like whatever you
you
happy
do you.
with doing,
Okay.
wear whatever you
Relativism.
want.
Your
Right,
truth
right.
is your truth. My
Yeah,
truth is my
right.
truth.
Regardless of who it might hurt or who didn't consent to see all of your body,
Right.
and you're just putting it on display for the world to see. And yeah, just a little regard for our brothers, and kind of like what Maddie was saying, right, Maddie?
Madeline.
Madeline, yeah, it's okay.
I think the way you dress is a direct reflection of how much you respect yourself. And it also does show the world, it presents you to the world before you open your mouth, So it says, this is who I am before you even get to know that person. Yeah. So it does matter, and it is important. And I think especially like Gen Z today, who've totally adopted the just go everywhere in sweats. I know I'm going to step on toes. I teach a lot of high schoolers, and it's become their uniform, just sweatshirt, sweatpants.
Really?
Crocs. Yes, everywhere.
Crocs.
There's like
Oh my
no
God.
special occasion. I'm like, have you guys ever even heard of the term your Sunday best? What?
What would that mean to them? I mean, who knows?
Right,
Because they
right.
might not.
yeah.
Sunday might not mean anything.
True. That is also a whole other conversation. But yeah, I think it is a reflection of how much you respect yourself. And that matters, especially if you are going to proclaim Christ, you know.
Also, I want to add something else. I while you were
Yes,
talking, it made me
Madeline.
think of it. It's also based on what they were taught, like what they were raised as. Because I was thinking about while you were saying a lot of the students wear sweatpants. My mom, you couldn't wear like sweatpants 2 days in a row. She'd be like, okay, you wore your sweatpants for your week. You can't wear them again. Like you have to actually
Just
like,
slacks on.
like yeah, exactly. Or like look nice for like when I was in high school. One of the first days of school, I wore a pencil skirt and like a blouse,
wow.
but I liked it. But like my mom,
girl.
she held me. She was like, she let me dress how I wanted to, but very like modestly and like. You know, I was very confident in my clothing. I love my clothing. So
That's why she
but-
looks so cute today.
Yeah. but I was just thinking about that. It's also like what you were taught, and it's like what are these? What is everyone being taught these days about how you should look or like what you should wear?
Right. I think it just immediately says like, I don't care and I don't matter,
Yeah.
you know.
And yeah, you know, you're not important enough for me to like dress up for.
Yeah.
And I know because we're in the airport quite a bit, so I'm not saying you have to dress up for the airport, but
Wow.
it is cool to see pictures from like the 60s and the 70s and people really come on now. You
Yeah,
know
I
about
was
those
there.
times.
I was there. And
Yeah,
you,
but,
you
like,
wore you wore suits.
You were your best, and
Yeah.
they look so cute. And now I think you see the worst of civilization at the airport. I'm like, close your eyes, tunnel vision, Allison, tunnel vision. But yeah, I mean that is a sanctifying experience, just walking around Hartsfield Jackson
Whoa.
before you get on a flight. But yeah, you know, and not to sound like too holy roller, but it is kind of disrespectful to walk around in your pajamas.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You got your curlers in your hair,
Yes.
your, you know, Crocs, don't get me started, sweatpants. So yeah, I mean, modesty I think is the most important, but just to go a little bit further, it's, you know, how much effort are you putting into your outfit? And I think it also goes for men as well. You know, men aren't off the hook. You go to the gym and you're like, all right, buddy, you know, the real big holes around the armpit, the really short shorts, you know, and it's like, okay,
Ooh.
who are we trying to
Got an
impress
image.
here?
I mean, women are definitely, I think they
Oh
take,
no, they take the yeah. I'm just trying to make sure the gentlemen in the room aren't off the hook. Exactly.
yeah, I'm sorry, but the ladies are,
That's a whole
lose.
nother
So,
conversation.
you know,
the gym.
and a lot of people, surprisingly, our YouTube audience is 19 to 25, like 60 to 70% men. But also those young girls. What can you say to young girls that are listening? Because we also, even though our target is young adults, or even just young adults, like what can you say to them to encourage them to show their faith on the outside, and who they are, who's their
I would
image.
First, give them the grace, because I think, again, kind of like Maddie was saying, it does reflect how they were raised. And I think a lot of girls just were raised to think that leggings are a normal thing to wear.
Especially the way some of them are designed today, certain leggings to just like hug certain areas. They think
And
like,
even maybe,
oh,
like-
I get attention for this, so
Like
it must be
outlined.
good. But it's like, not all attention is good attention.
Right,
You
right.
know, there is such a thing as bad attention. You don't want to necessarily just be attracting everybody, because then you're going to get, you know,
Everybody.
the swine, you know, all the rest of it. Yeah. And honestly, I think just there are cuter gym clothes out there that are also better for you, you know, just on a health
Yeah.
level. That polyester, that plastic, the
were just
PFAs
talking
that are
about that.
just being absorbed into your skin, that stuff really messes with you over time. It's just rattled with endocrine disruptors and things that are going to mess with your hormones, and later down the line you're going to have all these issues, and you know, lo and behold, your gym clothes have a lot to do with that, you know. I mean, plenty of other
Yeah.
things too, you know, your you know, deodorant with heavy metals in them, and your perfumes and the shampoo you're using. I mean, it's everywhere.
Well, also birth control.
Birth control is a
I mean,
big
if
one.
you look at all the studies of birth control and what it's doing to the woman and what kind of messages it's sending out,
Yeah.
it's amazing. The
Oh,
studies,
yeah.
the scientific studies on it. But
Yeah.
so, what would you suggest wearing to church?
Go all out.
you
Like,
go.
dressing up is so much fun once you get into a rhythm of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes people just are kind of either afraid or they just don't know what to pick out, or like,
Right.
oh, I've never been good at fashion. It's like, you can go on Pinterest or online and just look at like nice church outfits and go from there, you know?
I love seeing at St. Luke's. We have a lot of young adults men, especially more men, I think, than women that are dressing in suits every day. It's
Yeah, I
don't you-
agree. I love it because they got their like suits and they got their hats when they walk in.
I
They
love
take
a
them
good
off.
hat.
They
Yeah.
take them off
Right.
when they enter the sanctuary. But You know, some of them got even the feather
Stop.
coming out of them. So
Can we bring back
I gotta
hats?
get one of those.
I want to bring back hats so bad.
yeah.
If we could,
When
yeah.
I was growing up, we had a hat box, and so we had to wear hats, and so we would pull out the hat box every time, and then we as little girls we would all have our little hats on.
Wouldn't that be so cute though?
It was cute.
I love hats and gloves.
Yes, we had gloves. Yes, it was the glove box.
That's
and
the
then-
real way to turn heads.
Yeah.
Is dressing up like that. Not in like the super skimpy leggings
Yeah.
where everyone's going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
shock and horror. But cute hats, classy
Max
woman.
is giving you.
I'm giving snaps.
You better.
Snaps.
Come on. It's so true though.
And how can you also share your femininity, your God-given femininity, just in other things besides outfits, besides what's on the inside? How can you let your inside come on the outside? Because I think that's so attractive to when people see the spirituality and you know who you are. How are some ways? Again, I think I'm sort of changing this episode into talking to young girls and how to
love it.
and so what can you tell them, or young guys too? How can you express that in other ways?
I would say that it starts in the quiet place of your time with God, which makes me reflect on Genesis, talking about the creation of Eve and how her first experiences weren't with a man. It was between her and God, because he put Adam to sleep and he was creating the woman. So Eve's first experience was just alone with God. And so it's like natural for women to be alone with God. And I think that's why, men pray too, obviously, but I think a lot of women are naturally prayer warriors. And there's something sacred kind of about Saint Teresa of Avila talking about the interior castle of, how deep your prayer life can go if you allow it. And so it starts there, I think, with your prayer life, because that transforms your heart, which is going to influence your mind and your thoughts. And that's just going to obviously feed into your speech.
Right.
And I think, speaking of other ways to show your faith or even to exude modesty, like the modesty in your speech is evident of your faith.
Yeah.
And kind of like the same questions you would ask about fashion, would I wear this in front of Christ?
Yeah.
Would I say this in front of Christ? Would I speak about this girl or this guy behind her back this way? Or even if it's just like, quote unquote, fun gossip that's going to get me closer with this group of people,
Right.
If Jesus were in that circle, like, would you share that,
Yeah.
Or even speak about yourself in certain ways,
Yes.
If you are fearfully and wonderfully made, which you are, but a lot of us grapple with that, I think, without even realizing it. Would you speak about God's creation with such a magnifying glass of negativity?
Right.
And critiquing yourself just to the nth degree that, God is like, well, that was one of my best works, but go on. Tell us more how you don't like your hairline and your cheekbones.
You're
and
hitting close to home.
Yeah, that's so true. And I was talking to my dad when I got back from Medjugorje, and he was saying something, a little bit negative, just like on positive about how much we experience God. But he was like, well, I don't feel like I could ever experience that. And I'm like, wait, you are made in the image and likeness of God, and you're not. I'm not going to allow you to say anything negative about you anymore either.
That's a good friend.
And he was like, okay, but but he's like, but. I'm like, don't but.
Yeah.
You are made. And so I think if people could own that and know that they are made in the image and likeness of God, and they have that, well, the world would be a lot better place.
And good for you. I think the greatest of friends are the ones that encourage us to see ourselves in truth.
Yeah.
And to like correct him. Don't speak about yourself that way,
Right.
because sometimes people really are in the habit of the negative self-talk,
Right.
and that loop of just like verbal circling the drain.
Right.
So you'd be like,
Oh,
we got to
gosh.
pull them out of that, give them a hand. Like, no, this isn't true,
Right.
and speak life into them.
And especially in relationships, like between, we're talking about masculine, authentic masculinity and true femininity. Those relationships should never be built on finding the fault, but it should be built on building up the other person. And I was
Yeah.
recently talking to someone about that, about just, if the person that you're with is not building you up and pointing out all the good things about you, then it's not the right relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So we have just a minute left here before we close, and then we're going to go. We have 2 minutes left before we go. Is there any other topics you want to talk about, kind of tease us for the next half, or anything you want to finish up here on this?
Ooh. I kind of like just the improvising
The
we're
flow.
doing. Yeah, I feel like it'll just flow into more rivers.
You have to
of-
stay tuned to see what
Stay
we talk
tuned.
about
You
next.
you never know what we're going to talk about. And Matt, I'm going to come over to you guys. Madeline and Max, do you have anything that you want us to touch on next on the next half? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so-
I don't know. I feel like I like the flow wherever the river
Okay.
takes us. or
Well, then
wherever.
we're going to be talking about UFOs on the next one, if that's okay with
Okay.
you.
We
can
No.
go there.
And on
Conspiracy
that,
hour.
on that, we're gonna. So this time we're here with Allison and Veronica and our new producer in training, I guess, Max.
Yeah.
And Madeline and Benny is here. Oh, I'm not supposed to say it, but you are here. Oh, I did. Okay, he's just giving me the look. He is here because you matter. You matter to me, Benny.
We care
And
about you, Ben.
all of those episodes where I was always like, he exists. It's like the brown M&M or whatever, green M&M, the one that we never knew existed. But you do exist and you matter. Okay.
Janice, who are
And
you talking to?
Janice.
I know. Okay, obviously I'm talking to the void that is within,
Yeah.
that is over there. I just thought at one point. But anyway, so we are so excited about Honest to God, and we're excited to come back and talk to Veronica and Allison more about true femininity. We're going to go hard on that. What does that really mean, and what is culture telling us, and how do we defeat the cultural wars that are going on? So we're going to pivot over, and we're going to, if you're on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. And if you're on Spotify, share it with your friend, or if you're listening on the Quest, then just tell your young adults to listen to this episode, because I find, as a person who is on that age bracket, I get such joy from listening to these messages, and I always learn something. Always learn something from the young adults. I love you guys. So on that, we're going to end it, and we'll come right back. And so right now, you're listening to Honest to God, a production of AM 1160 The Quest. Welcome back to Honest to God. You're listening to our show on femininity and true femininity and authentic, God-given beauty. And this is a production of AM 11. Oh, I messed it up. This is a production of.
AM 1160 The Quest.
That's why I need you, Madeline.
Atlanta's Catholic Radio.
Oh, I started the radio channel, and I still can't even get
Hey,
it right.
it's okay.
Okay.
It is a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, and that's why you're here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so.
I'm here for you, Janice.
Oh, thank you.
Anything for you.
Well, thank you. And we are back with our wonderful guests, Veronica and Allison. And we also have Madeline producing over there, and Max, our new producer in training. So very excited to be here. So we were talking, it's Twin Talk, and anything, we can talk about anything we want. At the end of the episode, we had talked about modesty, we talked about true femininity, God-given femininity. What is the word? What does that mean? Feminism. What's that word?
Feminism or femininity?
Okay, well let's do both. Feminism.
I think feminism, broadly speaking, if you ask like the average Joe,
Yeah.
they're gonna say like, oh, it's well intended, equality between the sexes. But I think if you look a little bit deeper, just broadly speaking, I think it has been more so an ill to our society than anything good. And look no further than the people who pioneered it, who brought it to our country. The women that we kind of were taught to revere were all involved in the occult and things of that nature, and had a lot of power and a lot of money behind them. And not a lot of people know the true history behind feminism and the people that were pioneering it.
Are you talking like Margaret Sanger?
Margaret Sanger.
Okay,
yeah.
wow, go
yeah,
there.
most of them. Yeah, and her especially too. She was an avowed racist.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Yes.
read her letters online. She wanted to exterminate the African, race.
And to clarify, Margaret Sanger is
the founder of Planned Parenthood.
okay. Go ahead.
And it was her goal and intent to have a Planned Parenthood in every, low economic field,
Yeah.
neighborhood. And the way that she went about that, because initially people were very anti that, like, what? This
Yeah.
is crazy. We don't want to have this many abortions
Right.
and on demand and, so grotesque and up to the 9th month. And so she plotted out that she would kind of convince pastors to start convincing the congregations to be okay with this and that it would be liberating and, make women freer. And it has done all the opposite.
Right.
I think it's enchained women in a lot of ways, and it's made them not as confident in their true femininity and the gift that God gave them,
Right.
I mean, we are rejecting our biology to the core with the principles of feminism. You have to climb the corporate ladder. You have to do what men do because you can do it better. And it's like, why are we trying to do this? Men are really good at what they do. Let's let
Right.
them do that,
Right.
Need we forget that we were the last to be created? Okay, God saves the best for last. Just kidding. Kind of, but that's true. But yeah, men and women, they are so beautiful in their own right. I think to distort that in any way it's just terrible.
Or to try and compete.
Yeah.
Right.
It's truly like the old argument of apples and oranges. They serve different purposes.
Right.
So to try and, be an apple really struggling to be a peach is a waste of time. And also it, again, completely disregards the beauty of an apple,
So beautiful.
Women
And-
trying to be men, it's like, it's
Cringe.
pointless.
It's cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God has such a beautiful design that he did that. And I mean that he made men and women, and now the line is so blurred.
Right.
Culturally, the line between men and women. Or
So tragic.
what I heard, did I hear right that like on Facebook there's like 48 different categories you can pick on what gender or whatever you are or something.
Yeah.
48?
I heard that. I don't know. I might be wrong.
And it's not to say that you can't be a woman who does more masculine things or
Right.
a man that, enjoys some feminine things, but to then cold turkey be like, well, I don't know if you want to go there, but now I'm a woman or now I'm a man. And
Yeah.
it's like, hang on, there can be balance here.
Yeah.
You don't have to be super macho to be like, I'm a man. It should be a balance,
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that feminism brought some, maybe some equal pay and some other things, but there was also some, the negative side of feminism, and that harmed us in a lot of ways, blurring these lines.
Yeah. And I think if you just look at the lives of the people that support it the most, within like the entertainment field, for instance, women that are very, very pro-feminism usually typically aren't the happiest, the women that never got married or didn't have children, generally speaking, don't seem very satisfied with their lives.
Yeah, and certainly there's a lot of ways to be satisfied. Like I know women that have never had the chance to be married or a mother, but they
Yeah.
are a mother to so many
Yeah.
children. A friend of mine is a school teacher, and she's had so many people in her life that are basically children to her.
Yeah, and not to say if you can't have a
Yeah.
child, if you didn't get married,
Yeah.
you can still have the heart for that. And
Oh,
like you're
yeah.
saying, this woman who serves in other ways. I think it's the women that are adamant about anti-child and,
Right.
being childless and
Right.
living a free life. And it's like, that's fun in your 20s and probably your
Right.
30s, but it's not going to be sustained for
Right.
long,
Yeah, I
I
was
think
just-
it's the greatest lie that we've been fed.
Yeah, that is. There's a lot of lies. We've been fed a lot of lies. Thank goodness we also know the truth. And we also
Yes.
know so many truths. So what are some of the truths that we know that you can hang your hat on, that we know these truths about our femininity? It's life-giving.
It is.
Life-giving. Yeah, I think it's when you truly ponder just how cool it is to be a woman.
Yeah.
And sometimes, obviously I'm speaking from experience, but I even kind of zoom out of my experience. And if I weren't a man or a woman, I'd be like, wow, the woman is such a beautiful and complex creation. It's just fascinating to marvel and to even imagine Christ spending 9 months inside the womb of a woman.
Wow.
It's something so special.
Wow. I never thought about that.
I thought about it recently, and
Huh.
it was something that I pondered for a long time. I'm like,
And-
that's so precious.
And such trust, total trust,
Yeah.
that the God of the universe would come down and be, in that moment of conception and then live
So
for 9
vulnerable.
months. It's amazing.
But also then, again, going back to the beauty of women, that we're given that job, really that gift, to house the most vulnerable,
Yeah.
and to co-create with God in making a human soul. It's just beyond. There are certain things that seem outside of what we understand. I like dreams kind of live in that space, but pregnancy and a human growing in a woman's womb,
Yeah.
just
It's truly the divine coming
Oh, yeah.
down and just commingling with us,
Yeah.
I think is
birth, the intuition behind all of it, the
Yeah.
instinct. It's beyond. It's so
I think
amazing.
it's the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing that we can do here on
It
planet
is.
Earth.
And it goes back to like, why compete? There's no
Right.
what,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, just be a woman. Be a woman.
Yeah.
And stay in that lane.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. And like in the break, we were also talking about how do true women support true men? How can you support authentic masculinity in your femininity? What can we do to also support the men in their journey?
I mean, we were talking about encouragement earlier with speech, and I mean, the Bible talks a lot about encouragement, but it says to encourage one another daily. So imagine if we were consciously trying to every single day encourage really everyone, but we could talk just the men in our lives,
Yeah.
how that would transform them. Because, and this is no shade at all, but men are more simple than women, you know? So I think
Max, you agree?
They're all nodding yes
No comment.
with a gun behind his head.
but I think it's like an encouraging word. To us, it might seem so
Didn't
pointless
mean it.
and simple, right? But like that could really change a man's life, you know, and especially children too. I mean, again, this
Yeah.
goes for both girls and boys, men and women. An encouraging word can completely change your trajectory.
Yeah.
I think especially now too, it's so important that we encourage our men because the media is doing the most to tear them down.
Oof.
You know, it seems like that's their primary goal, to make women feel like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, you've been brought down by the patriarchy
Right.
and oh my gosh, we have to fight. And men, they all suck. And, you know, God forbid you're a white man or a Christian white man, you know, you're the worst of the worst.
Christian
you know?
straight white man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa, now it's an abomination. But I think more than anyone, it's the woman's job to reverse that course. You know, because men are going to respond best to women. You know, there's a quiet fire about women
Yeah.
that really can, what's the word to use? Influence.
Yeah.
I think the world. You know, we raise the world, so we need to do a better job, I think, of really encouraging our men. Because we complement them so well, and they complement us so well, and that's the way God designed it. You know, again, always going back
Always
to
so
Adam and
good.
Eve.
Yeah.
You know, He said everything is good each day, and then He made man. He was like, pump the brakes. It's not good for man to be alone.
Right.
Let me create the whoa man.
Whoa!
Woman. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've always heard too, like in a marriage, it's best when the man cherishes the woman and when the woman respects the man.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's really true. Like we each have different things that we want. Like my husband could care less about some of the things that I want him. Just tell me today.
Right.
Don't fix it. Don't solve the problem. Just tell me
Yeah.
that you're hearing me what I'm saying or something. You know.
Yeah, and that's another great way we complement each other, because men, you know, they can think far into the future,
Yeah.
whereas women tend to like right now. You know, we need help right now. The kids, that's urgent, you know, or the men are thinking long term.
Yeah.
Like
That's right.
10 years, you know, so that complements each other because both visions are needed and
Yeah.
perspectives. And I think about, you mentioned Adam and Eve, so it just made me think about how when he was creating Eve to be Adam's helpmate. And I think a lot of women get hung up on that word helpmate because they think, oh, that means I'm secondary, you know, and I'm inferior. But the original Hebrew word, I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it begins with an E, but it's only used a few times. And when it's used in the Bible, it's describing God and how he would help strengthen Israel
Oh wow.
and build Israel in a way that it couldn't build or strengthen itself.
Right.
So really it's this strong word that God uses to reference himself. We translated it as helpmate, but the word itself, you know, describing Eve, it's helping Adam in a way he couldn't help himself and building him in a way he couldn't. So both are strong individuals and, you know, completely compatible for one another. And, you know, they complement each other.
What do
and
they
it's-
say? Behind every strong man is a great woman or something.
yeah. True.
So with thinking about the times of the day and what things are on topics on people's minds and stuff, is it possible to in today's world to kind of have it all, like with all the different things being done now with remote work and things like that? But as a woman, I can't imagine. It's so hard to be a mom and be a wife and be a CEO or something like that. I know, like with a lot of this stuff with what's going on with like Erica Kirk, I know like Charlie was always saying, you know, the role of the woman, the best role she could ever choose would be the wife, and she was saying that. But then now she's a CEO, and you don't see the kids anymore, and you don't know where they are, and I don't know. It's
so
just so
real.
hard to figure out. Like, are we setting ourselves up? I can't imagine how tired she is at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, because she has to come home to children and be there for them and give them their bath and like say their prayers with them, and then go back and run a company. Organization. So I don't know. Like, is it a myth that we can have it all, or is it just that we have to change what we think having it all means?
Right.
Probably more that. Because
I think I have
you
it
have to
all.
sacrifice something. Well, yeah, you know, and perspective is everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So kind of how we were talking about earlier, if you're focusing more on the negative, you're just going to invite more negativity in your life.
Yep.
If you're really choosing to focus on the positive, more positive things are just going to be happening.
Right.
You know, your brain is a muscle too. You have to work it out. Focus on the good things that are happening, you know, in your life. But Erica Kirk, that's a good one to talk about with this particular situation. Because, no, I don't think you can have it all. I don't think you can be this boss babe, CEO, and also like a doting, loving mother that's there for the children as much as they probably need it,
Right now.
especially at that age.
Right,
you
and
know,
right
for the
now.
kids.
I mean,
and
they
now.
just, how do you explain that to them?
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's just, there's so many examples of it. And like I know you guys are in the entertainment industry, so with the movies or songs, there's just so many things. But really, if our perspective is, okay, I'm a child of God, and I'm the princess of the king, and I'm going to serve him every day, and then whoever's in front of me, I'll serve. And my value is not placed on what my salary is or what anything like that, but it's just on how much I can serve God today. And then you can be happy every day.
Yeah, and I think too, not to totally just go full on, like, you got to be a full-time mom or else you're not a good woman, you know.
Right, no, yeah.
I think it is kind of what we were saying. You have to define what fulfillment is for you, and I think that looks different for everyone because, if you're going to work, you are going to sacrifice time with your kids.
Right.
You know, but I also think for the sanity of women, it's
Yep.
good to have a part-time something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I don't mean full-time job or, something that takes you away in really crucial moments. Something that for women can be flexible is ideal and crucial if you're going to work. It's got to be flexible, something where you can create the hours.
Yeah.
So you're either
If
going to...
that's what you want.
If that's what you want, right.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
because
Because I don't think all women want to work.
No.
And that's natural. I think that women wouldn't want to go out and get a job. It sounds crazy in our day and age because that's so like Americana. Well, I guess it's worldwide now. But it's actually kind of unnatural just biologically the way we're made to have to want to go out and make money and forge and also like you raise the children and homeschool the children and do, we're kind of being asked to do everything. And I think that's why there's a lot of resentment within women. Just broadly speaking. But if they want, a part-time situation, like teaching dance, I could see that somehow I'll be dancing my whole life in some regard, even when I'm an elderly lady. But hopefully someday when we have kids, that's what I would want to put all of my attention into. And then whatever I get into, they're going to be a part of it, something that's friendly for children as well.
Right. And I'm not saying that women shouldn't work, because that's not at all what I'm saying. Because I think you need to figure out what's going to fulfill you. And I've got lots of jobs, but they're just at different times. And my husband is flexible. So finding that balance and then finding, just keep praying about it over and over and over. But certainly if somebody can do it all, then that's great. For them, that's great.
Right. I mean, doing it all, you are going to sacrifice something, and it might be your sleep.
Yeah, I think that'll probably happen regardless. I think the best case scenario though is we go back to like a village type scenario where there's multiple women close by. So like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna watch the kids while you go out and do this thing or whatever it may be. Yeah. And I think that's actually more natural.
It definitely is.
I think this whole like mom stays home with the kids, dad's gone for 9 hours, and she has no help is not the way it's supposed to be. And that's why you see a lot of young moms especially kind of go stir crazy. Like, oh my gosh,
totally
this is not
makes
what I signed up
sense.
for.
It totally makes sense. Like, I take my hat off to moms today because burnout is so easy in that scenario. It's like, here, be in this small space with this small child or multiple small children.
Under fluorescent lighting.
Yeah, like, I would go crazy. Yeah. I've babysat for long stretches of time, like, whoa.
Get me out of here.
That's what the homeschool community was really helpful for us because we were able to, sorry, my alarm's going off. We were able to have a community. You like that? Okay. Sorry. Time for the rosary.
See how Flame of Love, Mondays?
It's Thursday for the mustard seed rosary, but Monday is Flame of Love.
You
If
signed
anybody
us
would
up.
ever like to join in on a rosary at 9 o'clock at night, every night there's a rosary. But flipping back, what other topics would you guys like to cover? Because we could do anything here, and Madeline and Max, if you have anything to throw out. But what are there any other things that we didn't touch on yet that you wanted to talk about? And then I can also pull some questions here. Let's see. What book are you reading or movie have you watched recently, or what song has really impacted you lately?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I recently started reading this tiny little book. You've probably read it, The Forgotten Way.
Oh, no.
It's It's based on St. James the Lesser.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm always like, oh, it's kind of a rotten name to have.
Yeah, right.
But it shows how humble, the man was. But it's all about how, kind of what we were discussing, the power of your speech can change your life. Because it goes through the book of James and how much he talked about the importance of your speech and what you let out of your mouth.
Wow.
And how just a small flame can burn down a whole forest. A single word can, completely ruin or build something.
Right.
So,
I remember another thing that you wanted to talk about was like dear future spouse, like how to prepare for your future spouse, and not just to be saying, here's what I want in my future spouse, blah, 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 blah. But what am I doing to prepare for that?
Yeah.
So throw that at you guys.
Well, this is a conversation we have a lot just because, again, I teach a lot of young girls in high school primarily. So it's all about like, ooh, what I want in a future husband, da, 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 which is, it's pure and it's sweet. But I always just flip the question, as far as all the attributes that you're like, he's got to be this and this and this and this.
Right.
It's like, do you expect that of yourself? And oftentimes it's like, oh, I didn't think about that,
Right. Right.
like he's got to work out this many times a week and he's got to present himself this way. He's always got to smell good. It's like, do you always smell good, girl?
I should hope so.
Or, well, in the dance room.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're going to take it somewhere.
Sure. I mean, I think just generally kind of what we've covered, fashion, the way you present yourself, the way you're taking care of yourself, the way you eat, are you working out? I think sometimes people get caught up and they're like, oh, the physical doesn't matter as much as the mental, but we are our bodies, and our bodies they're literally a gift to us that God gave us. And we lose sight of that so much. And I think that's why, we get caught up in the fast food and honestly, even in the grocery store, like just being more mindful of what it is that we're buying, what we're putting on our bodies, what we're putting in our bodies is so important, especially now, because it seems like everything is poisoned. And we just have to be ever vigilant about protecting our bodies and the machinery that God gave us. It matters because, if you want that in your spouse, you have to expect that of yourself as well. And your brain, too. You got to feed your brain as much as you are your body.
Definitely.
Kind of how we were saying. You don't want to be the person that always brings the room down, always brings up negative things, and, just... Man, especially with the news and the rat race of that, it's like, yes, terrible things are always happening and they always will happen. But where can we find the light at the end of the tunnel here?
Right.
What can we do to fix some of this stuff going on?
Instead of pointing at it.
Yeah.
One thing I do when I talk to people about, getting your list of what kind of things you're interested in a future spouse, then I always come down to and saying the same thing. What are you going to do to make yourself ready? And then I always say for the guy, when you're looking at the list, what are your top 3? What are your non-negotiables?
So we have
Oh, you got some.
we have our own thing with our sister. We call it the 5 Fs.
Okay, the 5 Fs.
I'll do it. It might be, it's a different order for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's got, the different placement of
The priorities
the
are
Fs.
different. But number 1, I can agree for both of us. It's fears the
Fears
Lord.
the Lord.
Okay.
That's the first F. Second one, for me at least, would be funny, because I feel like if you can laugh with somebody through life, because it's going to get hard, you want somebody that can ebb and flow, and not take yourself too seriously. 3 is fine.
Fine. He's fine.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
F-I-O-N-E. Or is it
To you.
F-O-I-N-E?
F-O-I-N-E, I think.
Yeah. You got to say it like that.
Fine.
Attractive to you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't got to be like crazy.
Right.
But, you want to be attracted
But you want to be
your
attracted to
spouse.
him. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
You can't have like the greasy hair going on and
I mean,
the crumbs
greasy
on
hair's
your
not
shirt.
always, I think what she means is unshowered,
Right.
unkept.
And that is somebody will be everybody. There's somebody for everybody.
There really
This is true.
Somebody who sells shampoo, maybe. I don't know.
I like the way
you
you
wear
think.
deodorant.
No, I'm trying to be kind. Yeah.
Healthy
Deodorant.
shampoo.
Right.
So
Be careful.
fear, funny, fine.
Financial literacy.
Financial literacy. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And also, though, making the disclaimer that you don't have to marry rich.
No.
Like
Rich of spirit.
Yep.
Somebody that's got a plan.
Vision.
A
Yeah.
vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we're totally okay with finding people that aren't successful in a financial way, but
Right.
as long as you have a vision for like how I'm going to provide for a
Right.
family,
Right.
and you feel like, oh, I could be taken care of by this man,
Right.
then that's good.
Yeah.
I'm willing to build with somebody, but you have to have that like drive. You
Yeah.
can't just be like,
It'll
I guess
happen.
we'll see when we get
my
there.
part-time job at Taco Bell is all I got in mind. Were you thinking
Hope
of
you're
something
making
else?
money, darling.
And then what?
The fifth one, it's optional. and it's different for everybody.
Okay.
It's
Funky
funky
Fresh.
fresh.
Oh, funky fresh.
Underneath Funky Fresh could be
A slew
like
of things.
he plays an instrument or he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
good music
Oh, yeah.
taste.
He can dance.
He's got good
Right.
style. Like
He's a great conversationalist.
there's a lot of things that fall.
Doesn't fear public
under it.
speaking. Just anything random that's like, oh, that's a cool thing
Put
that
that
this
in
person
there.
has.
That was
I like
Funky
it.
Fresh.
Funky fresh.
I like it. I like it. And
Smells
do you-
good.
It smells good. And then what do you bring to? What are a couple of things that you're going to be bringing in, like what as femininity and all that, and as made in the image and likeness of God? What do you anticipate bringing into that relationship?
I think as a woman, hopefully it's the ability to bless a man,
Nice.
because we are receivers naturally and
Yeah.
biologically.
Right.
So to be able to receive a man with grace, integrity, openness, trust, kindness, I think, I think a lot of men have been burned by women and that's why they're afraid or even angry.
I think all women are this way. And, I
yes.
won't even try to ask this girl out.
Right.
Or look
I mean,
her way
because
they're
some
all
women
rotten.
can be
Yeah, there are some
intimidating
rotten women
or-
out there.
or
Yeah, yeah.
rude or,
Yeah.
so I think hopefully the prayer is that, I could bless.
Yeah, that's
a
a great
good
Be
man.
nurturing, encouraging,
life-giving.
life-giving. Yeah, be good mothers to their children.
Yeah.
That's
Build
a
a
big thing.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a house a home.
Yeah.
That was something I was talking about yesterday with some friends. When you're looking for a man, it's just like one of the main thoughts is this is eventually, hopefully, Lord willing, going to be my future daughter's father.
Yes.
First love.
Do I want this man to be her goal of like, oh, eventually I want to marry a man like dad,
Right, good point.
And is he a good example of that? You
Wow.
know, does he set a very high standard for her? And then also too, if you have boys, is he a good example for my son to follow in his footsteps?
Yeah.
Would he lead him to be a godly
Good
man?
questions. Yeah. We only have 2 minutes left. Can you believe that? We have run out of time again. So I'm going to ask a quick question. What's the best way for a guy to ask women out? I think they would want to know.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know if there's like one.
not one way, but like,
thing,
well,
but-
just something like because if guys are really intimidated about asking.
I think
would be too.
an activity
Okay.
is the most, like, I personally, I even feel anxious thinking about a guy being like, can I pick you up at 7 to take you to dinner and have something very formal?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if it's brand new, I don't want to do something formal.
Right.
I want to like putt or like
I think it
a group
depends.
activity,
But
bowling.
I mean, like the words, like if they say to you, "Hey, I was thinking," or like, what's something that was sort of like,
You're
what's
really
a-
pretty. Please go out with
I
me.
know. What's an opening? I haven't been asked out in a long time, so we got 1 minute left. What's one?
I would
Oh,
just say
man.
like casual and friendly.
Okay.
Like, hey, I'd like to get to know you better. You want
There
to
you
go
go.
play putt-putt
Okay.
or, I'd love to roast you bowling. Are you
And
you know-
maybe give voice crack, puberty. Maybe give. Speaking of guys, yeah, right. This is how they're gonna sound when they ask you out.
Right,
No,
right.
but maybe they give you their number instead of asking you for your number.
Okay.
If you don't really know each other,
yeah.
if you're friendly and like the energy's already on a good, basis, then that's fine.
Right.
But if you're just meeting this girl, definitely be like, here's my number.
Okay.
I would love to get to know
See,
you.
I think that's what a lot of our guys want to know.
Instagram- or
since
you know
our-
what?
or
Actually, yeah,
coffee.
maybe-
Coffee is always a
Coffee's a
nice
good one.
neutral
Yeah.
base.
Okay, so
Lunch.
we're going to have to end on that. I can't believe it's gone so fast. So thank you for sharing all this insight. And you've been listening to Honest to God, a production of AM 1160 The Quest. We hope to see you guys again next week. And if you have any questions or any thoughts of things you want us to talk about, send an email to youngadults, plural, at thequestatlanta.com. And then you can pick your own topic or have people on. Do you have one last thing?
One last thing.
Yeah.
We have a young adult program that we just started at St. Michael the Archangel Catholic Church
In
in Woodstock,
Woodstock.
Georgia. It has been quite the success so far.
How do you
We
join it? How can I
How
find
do you
out more?
join it? Yes.
You can
Go
go
to
to
the
St.
website.
Michael's website, and they have a young adult QR code where you can join our group me and get plugged in with all of our opportunities and events and conversations.
And I was also just informed about a website and a 30-day young adult prayer challenge.
Cool.
If you go to altumyoungadults.org, that's altumyongadults.org, they have a young adult specifically 30-day prayer challenge that they're about to launch. And then
Wow.
they also have, I think, like a conference happening
Oh,
later
cool.
down, like at the end of the
Well,
year or
that
something.
is awesome. So
Yeah.
we are out of time, but that's a great way to end it. So,
Yeah.
yay, get involved, meet people, and love God. Amen.